Okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum, and welcome to Anime Online Webinar. I do believe everyone who showed up today is either you are a fan of anime or you want to know about anime a bit deeper. Well, whatever your reason is, I want you to know that you have come to the right place if you want to know and have a discussion about anime. Today, I will be your host, Nur Najib binti Rizwan, and today we are so lucky to have two panel with us. Panel, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Naditul Snamiti Ahmad and I'm 19 years old. I'm from Sungai Petani Kedah and I'm currently studying in KPTM Ipoh in course in diploma in multimedia and my current semester is in semester 4. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi, my name is Muhammad Hazri bin Ahmad Zaini, and I'm also 19 years old. I'm from Rawang, Selangor, and my status now is I'm a student in Captain Ipoh, also in Diploma in Multimedia, and I'm also in semester 4.
Therefore, that's our panel for today. Well, with no further ado, I really want to ask Hazim, how anime start in Japan? Do you have any ideas?
Well, how anime start in Japan, okay? There is a lot of argument about how anime started and who started it first. Some say in 1930, some say in 1950 or 1970. There is a lot of argument that going on. But I will go with what I think the most supported statement among the others. I trace back to the history. I see all the reports. I trace back all the history of anime. And it traced back to 1917. Japan animation was started. They produced a silent film back then, black and white, and with a lot of flaws and trial, based on animated short film from France and United States. But at this stage, Japan animation are overshadowed by Western animation at that time, which is Disney cartoon. They face an uphill battle from the start. Yeah, this kind of rough.
Oh wow! Anime at first does not have a lot of exposure like how anime should in 90s. Well, how actually anime rising and become relevant?
Sorry. Moving on. To 1963, or more specific, on January 1. Fuji Television broadcast a 30-minute animated television series called Tetsuon Atomu, or I think it's better known as Astro Boy. Yes, the Astro Boy. The show became a surprising hit and starting an anime boom in a period of intense competition for TV audience. The success from the Astro Boy is the beginning of a new kind of anime industry. It became the first anime shown widely to Western audience, especially to those in United States, and becoming relatively kind of popular and influencing US popular pop culture. With American companies acquiring various titles from Japanese producer, Astro Boy was highly influential and to other anime in 1960s. And it was followed, and after that, after the Astro Boy, after the success of Astro Boy, it was followed by a large number of anime about robots and space. Started from this point, the glory days of anime started. Sorry for if there any interruption, but before we went down, I just wanna highlight that Astro Boy was highly influential to other anime in 1960s and was followed by a large number of anime about robots or space. Started from this point, the glory days of anime started. Continue to moderator.
Okay, now I see it's because one television series that hit and made anime famous. That's not something we know in general. Such a great fact. But Nadia, do you know how anime improved through the years?
Alright, anime improved throughout the years between 1970 to 1990. There is a lot of improvement in anime from the interface, the story plot, and they started to move on from sky fiction anime into more complicated one like romance, sport, magic, and so on. There is a lot of up and down during these years, but the outcome is anime started to spread across the world. A lot of anime genre starting to popping up, and the animation of anime started to improve years by years. CGI became commonly used in the 90s, but its use in anime reached a crescendo in the 2000s. Anime was flourishing, and the success of series after series increased, fan following multifold, like One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. Raised the bar for all anime by cross promoting manga, video games, and merchandise. Right, thank you.
Okay, now we know how anime started. Here comes important. How anime entered Malaysia.
Uh, okay. Thank you, Naja, for that question. Well, we need to know the root of how anime become massive in Malaysia and what was it. Well, even though the Astro Boy is well known, but what catches Malaysian heart is an anime that I believe all stages of age is well aware of, which is Doraemon. I think all of us know Doraemon. A study shows that Doraemon first appearing in the form of manga in 1969. The bright blue robot cat gained popularity in Japan and was made into an animated television series anime on the Japanese channel on TV Asahi. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Doraemon was exported to so many countries around the world within more or less 2 decades. The television version is aired in Italy, China, Taiwan, Korea, and also in Southeast Asia like Indonesia, Thailand, and lastly Malaysia in 1992.
Okay, Doraemon is my favorite anime in my childhood. Oh, good old times. But it makes me wonder how actually Doraemon becomes so popular in Malaysia.
Okay, how Doraemon become popular in Malaysia is kind of ironic because the Doraemon anime eventually came into the nation scene in July 1992. The language and cultural tradition play a big role in determining whether a popular cultural product like Doraemon will be accepted into a society. In the case of Doraemon entrance into the Malaysian scene, it is interesting to point out that in Malaysia, it was first being popularized by the Chinese. This manga only being produced in Chinese language, but because of an incredible response from Malay people, producers start to produce the manga in Malay, and then the anime become dubbed into Malay language. As such, the language factor does not become that much of barrier cultural flow here due to possibility of dubbing. What more interesting is Doraemon has a lot of moral value that can be learned in every episode. As in every episode, like we know, in my childhood, does not have a relation with the previous episode. Either you are a kid or an adult, you will enjoy how Doraemon settles Nobita problem with an awesome gadget from the future.
Wow, I never know Doraemon has such impact on how anime emerged in Malaysia. But from Doraemon, how is that an anime way?
After the success of Doraemon, we start to see anime like Crayon Shin-chan and Pokemon enter TV station in Malaysia. As the first generation of anime that enter Malaysia is the family-friendly type of anime, where you will see a simple plot, funny approach, and a range of moral value throughout the years. We start to see more heavy anime enter Malaysia like Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball, where this anime bring a whole different genre from before. More plot twists and more action. From this anime, we started to see a fan base of anime started growing in Malaysia.
That is such a fantastic fact. Even I never know it. But from the wave, how anime developed in Malaysia.
Uh, okay, influenced by those series of anime from Japan, like we know, Let's Copa Production introduced Upin Ipin in 14 September 2007 on Malaysia channel TV9 or also Minang TV9. Upin and Ipin tells the story of the eponymous twin brothers in their kampung called Kampung Dia Runtuh. Having lost their parents since their infancy, the brother lived with the sister Kak Ros and grandmother Uda. We all know that. While the context of their stories mostly remain the same, they sometimes a journey and imagine adventure like going on a pirate ship and so on. This shows how animation like Doraemon and the Upa Ipin series can be seen be a new brand that has been added to the world pop culture menu, giving the world citizen as much expanded reach of characters, stories, values, and mental universe to enjoy and learn from. This cultural flow of the anime style from Japan to other part of the world, including Malaysia, and then from Malaysia adapted and then to other parts of the world show how local cultural entrepreneurs have thus gradually mastered the alien culture form, taking them apart to investigate their potentials in terms of symbolic mode, genres, and organization of performance. As the Let's Go Park team included the local values and element into an anime style, which can be traced back to the Japanese anime like Doraemon.
The mix between these two countries just mesmerized me, but through the years, I do really wonder how Malaysians consume anime.
Alright, how Malaysia consume anime? Other than that, many TV broadcasts in Malaysia started to show a few anime series such as Naruto Shippuden, Bleach, and One Piece in some television channels like TV3, NTV7, TV9, and 8TV. This is the starter from year 2003 and onwards until existed new streaming service such as Netflix, Ikea, YouTube, and others that shows a lot more anime series that popular in Japan. There is a more easier way for people to binge watching anime series that Malaysia TV broadcast hasn't shown yet. Furthermore, the reason why anime series is getting more hype and popular to Malaysia people is because the situation in Malaysia and other countries regarding the COVID-19 pandemic that causes the lockdown in most of the country. As for that reason, most of the people in Malaysia, especially young generation who want to kill their time in pandemic, started to watch a few anime series that listed most popular in Japan regarding any year, like Demon Slayer, Haikyuu, Attack on Titan, and others more. Thank you.
That actually also how anime's with situation now. Like I heard of anime do have influence towards streetwear brand in Malaysia.
Alright. How anime have influenced towards streetwear brands? Anime and manga have been working together in streetwear circle for a while now. The two worlds share a similar principle, fulfill a deep desire for nostalgia, and promote amazing graphics. So it's a surprise that the streetwear culture has taken so long to catch up. However, with the flood of big release reaching the market in recent years, it seems like streetwear labels are finally making up for the lost time. So suddenly, it's cool to be an otaku affected by the anime wave from Japan. One of the most clothing brands like Uniqlo made a anniversary of the partnership between Shonen Jump and Uniqlo. This mix up saw a slew of exclusive Jump inspired tops, each a stylish, colorful tribute to the past and present Jump show, where many collaborations concentrate on a single common brand. The Uniqlo Jump collaboration spanned the 50 years of Jump library, featuring shirt for obvious modern classics such as Naruto, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Hunter x Hunter, and other more anime series, historical titles like Kochikame and others more. Other than that, in 2018 was certainly quite a year for Dragon Ball, with the end of Dragon Ball Super capturing global attention. And for the collaboration, the launch of the new Broly movie and others more. And not to forget, with Adidas partnership, Adidas collaborate with Dragon Ball Z, going from saga to saga to create exclusive shoes to reminiscent of several of the famous characters and fights in the show. So it show like many streetwear brands make a collaboration with anime series and create a product regarding the anime series. Alright, that's it.
Okay, so we actually has come to the end. In all, this webinar session has looked into a few things. That include the cultural flow of anime in the form of Doraemon into the Malaysian scene and how this was adapted, nominated as can be seen in the Upin Ipin animated series. The hit of many popular anime series that show in Malaysia entertainments as the Malaysian idol into this form of popular culture. In example, anime was also explored contributing to exciting literature in other forms of popular culture like art, cinema, music, and the internet. The effect of this appropriation were also into, and it was shown how an extension of the franchise into other mediascape was able to contribute the organic solidarity within the Beyond Malaysia. So, is there any final word from our panels?
Alright, I hope that people will know more about anime culture and take it as a positive content, not necessarily a negative content from Japan to our Malaysia society. Even I, as one of anime fans, I learned a lot of things from watching anime, such as the knowledge regarding studies and the moral values shown in anime and the unique culture in there.
Okay, how about Hazin?
I do believe as an anime fan myself, even though anime is not our culture, but they have bring multiple of people with same interest into one group and share each other thought about anime. Even how others portray anime is, it cannot deny that anime has become united us from all races.
So, before we end, I usually have the question to our panels. We start with panel 1. What is your hope about anime in Malaysia?
I hope anime in the future does not being judged as a kid show. Anime is more than that. It have a value, a heavy story plot, and can be enjoyed in any age state, whether you are a teen, a kid, or an old person.
Now, panel 2. Can you list a few anime movies that Malaysia cinema or already published it in Malaysia?
So far what I know and have watched is in cinema, I like Kimi no Nawa, Weathering with You, Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train, and others. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Okay, so right now we are open for audience to ask any question to our panels.
There any question from audience, or else we will end it.